Saudi Arabia joining the U.S. in the coalition to defeat ISIS. Joining me right now is a member of the Saudi royal family, Kingdom Holding Company founder and chairman Prince ALWALEED bin Talal, one of the largest investors in the world. Prince ALWALEED, it is good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Maria. It's nice to be and pleasure to be with you always.
So let me begin with the fight against ISIS, Prince ALWALEED. What is your reaction to the coalition to destroy ISIS, and what has been Saudi Arabia's role in it?
Well, we have seen how the world coalition was assembled under the leadership of Mr. Obama, whereby Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, and Jordan are all now under the leadership of the United States fighting ISIS in Iraq and Syria with certain other international countries. And we hope that this will bear fruit eventually by not only degrading and controlling them, but by eradicating them completely. And as for your question about Saudi Arabia's role, Saudi Arabia has announced publicly that it is taking place in the continuous bombardment on daily basis of those terrorist renegade people in Iraq and Syria.
Do you think ISIS can be defeated?
I think the question is not whether ISIS can be defeated or not. The world has no choice. This is not really an Arab-based situation or US-based situation. This is an international community situation whereby ISIS has to be not only defeated but eradicated completely.
Prince ALWALEED, what do you say to those out there who say that Saudi Arabia has had a history of supporting and funding some extremists, particularly in Syria, for example? Do you believe Saudi Arabia should take some responsibility for ISIS even being formed?
Well, look, the whole world has to take responsibility. Not only Saudi, I mean, there's no doubt there are some Saudis, like there are some people in the United States, like in Europe, in some other Arab countries who are really are extremists and support these terrorist groups. But rest assured, Maria, that Saudi Arabia right now has enacted laws. Not only they're talking, but also they're following the words with deeds.
Prince ALWALEED, let me turn to the price of oil. You have obviously been very vocal about this. Oil prices are down sharply this year. You called the decline a catastrophe for the Saudi economy, and you have been criticizing some of the comments and the actions made by the oil minister of Saudi Arabia. Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, and I reiterate again my criticism of the Minister of Oil. Because when the price of oil was $100, he came publicly and said that at $100 this is an equilibrium point where producers and consumers are happy and satisfied. Well, guess what now? Now it's $80 and we're hearing nothing from him right now. And what happened really in the price of oil meltdown is the confluence of events on the supply side and on the demand side. On the supply side, you've seen oil production and gas production in the United States increasing, exactly as happening in other countries in the world. Fracking in the United States now is going up, let alone some other countries in the globe also. On the demand side, you've seen now indication that China, although they're growing 7.3%, but that 7.3% really is somehow below what was expected. Japan also is just teetering on the verge of recession. But the straw that broke the camel's back 2 weeks ago was when surprisingly Germany announced that they're revising their growth projection from 2.1% to 1.3%. So all those matters on the demand side triggered the idea, the concept that oil demand may not be as high as expected.
Do you think that the oil-producing countries should cut production, keep production stable? Is there just too much oil in the world, and that's what's causing the price to go down?
Clearly, the position of Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Kuwait is not to cut their production, because rightly so, if they cut their production right now, some other countries will increase their production and take the market share from them. In late November, there is a meeting of OPEC, and I believe the discussion of the production will be raised over there, because Saudi Arabia and UAE and Kuwait somehow can afford more time of whereby the oil price is oil. But Russia, Venezuela, Iran and some other countries cannot do that, because their countries are even more dependent on oil than Saudi Arabia.
Prince ALWALEED, final question here. You are one of the leading investors in the world. Full disclosure, you are one of the leading investors in 21st Century Fox, which is the parent of the Fox News channel. The markets have been jittery, a lot of volatility on these worries about the global growth story. I know you met with the president of France while you were in Paris this week. What's your take on the global slowdown?
We had a private dinner with President Hollande at the Elysee, with senior and leaders of the top sovereign wealth funds in North America, in the Far East, Middle East, and even Australia was represented there also. And clearly there were a lot of jitters and reservations and worries, and President Hollande was very explicit, saying that we need to be pushing for growth above 2%, between 2 to 3%, but clearly this cannot happen unless it's done in concerted effort with Germany and other members of the European Union.
What are you seeing from your holdings? You own real estate and hotels, including the one that you're at right now, the Georges V in Paris, all over the world. Are you seeing weakness from that standpoint?
We see stability, but clearly our eyes are always open to the fact that you may have some weakness whereby some of these investments could be impacted. But so far, we have not seen any indication, frankly speaking, of any weakness, because we've seen that there were, in the last 3-4 years, there were some improvement after the major crisis of the 2007-2008 period.
Prince ALWALEED, good to have you on the program today. Thank you so much for your insights.
Pleasure to be with you, Maria, always.
We will see you soon.